Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. Double upload today, because why not? I want to talk to you about this simple trick and what separates the good closers from the great closers, or the good setters from the great setters. Everyone I know who's extremely competent in sales or appointment setting have got these two things down pat. So are you ready to hear them? First thing is listening. Second thing is making the other person feel important. Now, this is stuff you probably know already. Like, Matt, come on now. I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I know all this stuff. Like, you don't have to say it twice. Well, I do, to be honest, because you'll be surprised how many people aren't good at either of these things. Or if you watch your sales calls back, you'll be surprised how little, sometimes, you'll be surprised how little you listen and how little you can encourage the other person, or how little you make the other person feel important. Or maybe you're just talking too much. Or you're just talking too much about yourself. The basis of all human interactions, if all you can do with those two things are listening to the other person, not just listening by not speaking, I mean actively listening. Like genuinely leaning in and hearing what the other person has to say and trying to genuinely understand them. If you can do that, plus making the other person feel important, so things like asking questions, things like complimenting them genuinely, stuff like that. It really is just normal, basic human psychology, and yet so many people don't do this. I don't know if you can hear me fine, some construction, but for example, people in our program, we teach them obviously, we got the program, obviously we got the course inside, we got the community, we got stuff like that, and we've got a roadmap. And this roadmap, obviously, it has all the things needed to go from like no experience, because we literally got people who went from no experience in like business and setting and closing, and now they're making commissions. They're making pretty juicy commissions. So the reason why they've been able to do that is because we stress stuff like closer fundamentals, basically all the basics, all the stuff that makes a good closer, or all the stuff that makes a good setter. And on top of that, that's just the course itself. Like, on top of that, they can just reach out to me. They can reach out to Elijah. They can reach out to Himero. They can reach out to the people on the team for specific personalized help. So for example, if they had a sales call and they wanted to break it down, and they felt like they didn't know what to do, they didn't know how they should have carried the sales call exactly, maybe they didn't listen too much, we can point that out. So, and then obviously next time they go into another call, they will implement that advice and become 1% better at as closers or setters. For example, I allow the students all the time to send me convo screenshots of their appointment setting. I allow them to send me screenshots of conversations that they're probably stuck on, and then I just give my input as to what to say next. So a little bit of riz right there. So why do I do that? Why do we do this in the first place? Well, because it's super important. Like those two things, listening actively and making the other person feel important. One of the things we say in the program is validation. Give validation when you're setting. So why people sound like interviewers all the time when they're setting and just ask question after question is because they don't even make the other person feel important in the first place. And then this leads to a break in the report, and then this leads to them just ghosting you. So what you want to do instead is you want to make them feel important. Is you want to give them validation. You want to just make it a human conversation. Be like, oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, makes sense. And you're not just saying these things too. Like you genuinely mean it, right? So yeah, that makes sense, 100%. And then you ask a question. Oh, okay, so how long have you been doing that for? Simple stuff. Instead of just going out the bat with, oh, so how long have you been doing that for? And then you just ask your next question and the next question. Before you know it, they don't want to talk to you anymore because they just feel like they're talking to someone who's reading off a script. That's not the impression you want to give off, at least if you want to make money. So make sure you're listening actively to the other person. You should be talking only like 10% of the time in a sales call. 10-15%. You don't need to be talking about your life story. You don't need to be blabbering on about stuff, because the truth is these prospects will walk away and they won't remember a single thing about what you said after. Or 95% of the time or 95% of the things you said on that sales call, they'll probably forget, whether you close them or not. So your job is to make them feel good after walking away from that call, whether even if they close or not. Because that's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember the energy. They're going to remember the state at which you left them in. So if they felt good after the call, if they felt good after the call, it's probably because you listened to them. It's probably because you didn't talk that much and only talked where necessary. And you made them feel important. You made them feel heard. You made them feel understood. And you helped them make the right decision. And who knows? They could genuinely come back like 2-3 months later simply because of how good they felt after leaving the call. That's happened in the past too. So that's what they'll remember. Same thing with appointment setting. If you just ask question after question and you just don't follow these 2 rules, then they're always going to associate you, or not even you, if you're setting as the business owner, you're now going to associate that business owner as someone who just wants their money, who's someone who is very spammy, is just a robot, and they don't want to do business with, and it's just annoying. And that's not good for business, is it? So, yeah, those are just my 2 cents. Listen actively, make people feel heard, and make them feel understood, make them feel important. If you just do those 2 things, I promise you, you will close more deals and you will set more meetings, and you will make more commission. This applies to life too, not just business. If you just follow those 2 things, if you make an effort to do so, then your life is going to be a lot easier, okay? So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you are interested in our group, if you are interested in becoming a closer or a setter in the next 12 weeks, getting guaranteed placement, and making your first 3, 4, 5, 10K a month in commissions, links in the description below, and you can see if you're a good fit. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Listen and make people feel important, okay? See you in the next one.